conference will now be recorded.
That's right.
Oh, I see.
Is that like Norway? Is that, you know, where do we still have light? No, that would be worse, right? They
Light.
less light.
Lots of skinny trees.
Yeah. Now you're gonna turn around and look where you were for a second.
Nope.
Okay, got Louise. And let's see. I think we have a quorum, and I think this is it for today. So I do not have paper agendas. I can read the agenda out if we want it. I was going to try to learn how to connect my own computer so I can share screen, but I'm not sure if that's going to work because I can't figure out if they've given me permissions to share.
Oh, this is on GoTo.
Yeah, this is on GoToMeeting. So with that, I'm just going to call the meeting to order. Let me start there. And I'm going to start with saying there are no meeting minutes from last month. Tyler and I have to combine our notes to in order to make the meeting minutes. And again, I don't know if I could get a volunteer to try to make minutes this evening since Lori will not be here. I have emails from both Lori and Steve Lemfier will not also be here.
I have a pen, I have paper, I could write.
If you wouldn't mind, even like just short notes, and I can fill them in with Tyler, you know, just what the agenda.
Maybe between the two of us, we'll come up with something useful.
So the second item on our agenda was social media page and a volunteer to coordinate electronic media with Kate Nato, the town's media director. Lori was going to bring us up to date in November. Lori has met with Kate, and I am going to read you her email. Hello, I'm in Buffalo. I met with Kate and share what they accomplished. There is a new email address, which is agcom with 2 M's, and I'll forward this to everybody, or the summary of this, at belchertown.org. We need to determine what members should be receiving a CC of any email sent to this address. Currently, the chairperson and the clerk should be getting them. I haven't specifically seen any, but I'm not sure. She said, well, let me stop there. How many of you would like to receive the emails from AgCom? How many of you believe it would be a good idea to have many people responding? I'm in favor of what the committee would like to do. I do not need to be the sole person worrying about emails.
I wouldn't mind getting them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
I think we should just make a consensus that responses aren't made without a quorum of the committee.
Okay.
If there's I don't know if somebody spoke. Louise, were you speaking? I'm sorry. I thought I heard somebody say something.
I just said.
That you'd like to receive them.
Yes, I would.
Okay, so I would prefer not to make an individual list and then just have everybody receive them.
I think we should.
Okay, Tammy, if there's an objection, you should ask now. I don't think, you know, if it's 6 a year, this guy, you know, maybe it'll be 12. So
Right.
I don't think it's going to be
Not high volume.
Right. It won't be high volume.
But I just want to be clear that we'll receive the emails, but nobody's expected to respond to them until we have a meeting.
Well,
how's that going to work?
I think in the minutes, we should have a protocol that either the chairman is informed or that 3 members of the committee are informed if there's an item that sounds like it needs to get taken care of. Like this summer, did you respond? Oh no, you responded to me on the Caleb Busey application.
Yeah, Melissa Shattuck had sent it out to everybody, and then, I reached out to you.
So that, I think I think I called you, but I think I might have responded to everybody and said, hey, here's the agenda, we're gonna talk about this at the next meeting. I'll try to do that, but there was a conflict, a neighborly conflict in the middle of the summer that I addressed with the building inspector. And so something like that, I would expect us to talk about if it needs to happen, either while we're off because it's during the summer, or if next Monday we get a call that somebody's
Needs some questions.
got pig manure running into a stream and they don't know who to call. I think we would just try to go ahead and have that addressed. Does that sort of?
I just anticipate stuff coming from the town. Like, I feel like I've seen recently something coming from the town saying, y'all need to do a thing. And if it just goes to that email address.
Well, I think if everybody gets the email, then I mean, by do a thing, if you mean like our conflict of interest statement or other stuff, I mean, there are like 2 or 3 other miscellaneous things, like the Antique Tractor Society needs they're gonna use the town common, but they need a proponent in order to receive the privilege. And so I have to sign a form, or the chairperson or vice chair needs to sign a form that says, we're gonna be the sponsors, or whatever you call it, of their event.
But we need to vote on that first anyway, right?
Yeah. And those tend to be far apart. So,
yeah.
But some are, I think last spring, you recall, the farmer's market, they can't meet, they're not a town board, so they can't meet on town property. And they were having their winter meeting in Aldridge and Lawrence. And they asked if we would sponsor it. And I forget, I think I talked about it at a meeting, but if it was between meetings, I don't know. Do you think every item should go? I'm just wondering if we tell 3 chairs. I mean, obviously, if something doesn't need, I can't imagine anything but a neighbor conflict needing to be resolved in 30 days.
Right.
The wheels of government move slowly.
Yes. Wheels of volunteer boards do too.
Volunteer boards,
A little slower yet.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna have them sent out to everybody. We can continue to resolve this if we want to make an official motion about protocol. I have no preferred anything on that. I think more people that know about stuff, the better.
Yes.
Yes. She said she worked on the Facebook page with Kate. They changed the pictures. If members send Lori information about events they know about or articles of interest, she'll put them on the page. Kate will do some advertising of our page to get more sign up. She also showed me how to get ChatGPT to write Facebook articles for us. Okay. I have access to make changes to the webpage as well. Kate will gladly help with advertising events. The earlier she has, the better, because she's only part-time. Sorry, I will miss the meeting, Lori. So I believe we should have an alternative Facebook administrator that also has rights in case we want to post something while Lori is not around. And I'm not sure how that works. Tammy, any chance you're familiar with Facebook administering pages?
Sorry, I'm just looking at the page and I was trying to unmute myself. Yeah, I mean, I can fill in if Lori, yeah.
Okay.
But I don't want to be like in charge of it.
No, Lori said she would take the lead, but I'm like, if Lori's in Buffalo with no network access.
And we need to post something. Yeah, that's fine.
And we're having the event next week and it didn't look like the event stuck on the page.
Yeah.
And we share it with you, can you throw it up there? And I think now I'm thinking that like last Friday, Small Farms sent something to the AgCom page saying they were having a farm machinery workshop
Workshop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday, but they sent it to us on Friday. It said, could you circulate it?
Oh, boy.
So hopefully if we get things like that further in advance, then we can put them on our, I would suspect stuff like that we could put on our Facebook page. Or at least
Yeah,
that
that's
would be
fine.
fun.
You can sign me up for that.
Okay. All right, so
Okay.
okay. Discuss this winter's one event, the farmer meet and greet, volunteer roles in particular. If you don't mind, I am going to try to take notes directly in a document I made last time. It's just a little memo.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm having trouble with my. I don't want to tell you what's spilled on my mouse. And it's now acting very slow.
Oh,
Don't worry, it wasn't alcoholic. It's maple syrup.
yummy. So,
Okay, so I'm looking for volunteer roles. So the first one, reserve the room. Reminder, this is January 24th, 2026, from 1 to 3 p.m. in Lawrence Memorial Hall. I've reserved the room. Would anybody like to volunteer to do introductions?
I will.
Okay. Tom will do introductions. There will be a presentation from Mill Valley Veterinary Clinic. There will be a presentation by CISA. These we've asked for 20 minutes to a half an hour, and there'll be a 20-minute to a half-hour presentation from NRCS.
Do we know what the presentations are on?
Not at this time, and NRCS is willing to work with us. I said climate change, small farm and garden issues. So in other words, irrigation and drainage. And then any updates to funding availability that farmers in Belchertown may be interested in. But she's going to circle back up in December.
What was the first presentation?
Mill Valley
Oh, Mill
Veterinary.
Valley.
No, Valley.
And I think they're going to do, recent issues in large animal health.
Yeah, that they've seen,
Yeah.
something like that.
So while I don't want the meeting to go too long, I would think it would be helpful if perhaps the MC does sort of just a closing thing and maybe an open forum for 5 or 10 minutes, asking local farmers if there are ag topics that they would like the commission to,
At the end of the meeting.
yes, hear, investigate, whatever we want to call it. Listen to topics that they currently have, and then we can decide whether we,
It's always better if you close the meeting and then they discuss.
they'll be more open if you close the meeting and then they'll discuss. So, I mean, we can do both, but. So it seems like the meeting is pretty well planned right now, at least the topics and reserved.
Yeah, that's good.
We have 2 additional items, which is coordinate coffee and snacks. Which I would,
I'll take that.
okay. And then coordinate getting the word out. And I believe Lori was going to take that. And I think the one thing I'd like to discuss with the group right now is, what do you think for timing? Let's see. It's January 24th. So we have a December meeting and we have a January meeting.
Mhm.
Snow allowing, of course.
Yeah.
So
Usually no more than a couple weeks.
do you think we should advertise in December? I think we should shoot to get any sort of circulatory materials, whether it be electronic or paper, figured out on the December meeting. And then whether, they don't get posted to the Sentinel till after January 5th or something. But if we could get it up on our Facebook page and circulate it, and if we're gonna Lori will do a mailer again to the farmers and foresters in town, if that can go out. I think it would be great if we could also think about circulating it to our sister organizations. Let's say like the Farmers Market Group, let's say Small Farms. I think if we can,
Lamson Brook, yeah.
yeah, West Brook.
I don't know what they have for winter schedule. Oh, fine.
But I just mean, if they can also put it on their website, or if
Yeah.
they can,
So I
Or at
can
least
put
the-
together, I can put together a postcard and like, I could do some.
that would be fantastic.
Yeah, I just need, so it's gonna be at Lawrence Memorial Hall. What's the date again? The 26th?
It's January 24th,
24th from when to
from
when?
1 to 3 p.m.
1 to 3.
And so Mill Valley Vet is talking about large
Current
animal,
issues in large animal health,
Animal health.
or just animal health, whatever you want to
animal
say.
health.
Yeah, it's farm animals. They're not talking about cats and dogs. That's what I was trying to get across.
Great. Farm animal health and CISA, we don't know what they're talking about.
That's a good point. Let me read you Steve's email, because I believe he had carpal tunnel syndrome today.
I could just
Yeah,
put
he doesn't say. If you have Steve's email address, if you wouldn't mind emailing him and say, what is CISA going to be talking about?
It's
you know,
fine.
just general, 'cause
I'll
it-
just put guest speakers and then I'll list these three.
Okay. Don't hesitate. Were you going to send it to Kate when you're done with it?
Sure.
No. You don't have to, but she took my stuff last year and turned it into a nice looking, she put graphics on it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I was gonna do.
Yeah, okay. If you're fully capable, I'm not capable in that area.
The town signboard, can we utilize that?
Oh, yeah, I think in December we should make the list, because we can use the town soundboard, but you must notify
Yeah.
Melissa or Abby in the selectmen's
Get
office.
that office, get permission.
And then you can also get it on the electronic media board down in front of Chestnut Hill,
Oh, really?
where ticker tapes across, like school events.
Yeah?
I don't know if you ever see it.
No. You mean that?
It usually says lunch today is macaroni. I don't know what it says. Soccer games. You know what I'm talking about?
Across from the police station?
Across from the police station.
Oh, that big, looks like.
There's a brick
pepper.
sign base, and then it has
Oh,
it looks like an old LED, because it
okay.
like flashes across, and it's old. It's not fancy type. It'll just say like farmer meet and greet, 126, 3 to 5, Lawrence, 1 to 3, Lawrence Memorial Hall.
that's not the one that I think you and I are thinking about.
I'm thinking about the one like they're advertising looking for plow drivers right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a temporary one.
Right, that's.
Oh, is it like a sandwich board or something?
No, it's like on wheels,
Wheels.
like they roll it.
Oh,
there's-
no, but it's the similar lights to the one that's on wheels.
I thought you were talking about the one.
But
that-
it's further, it's probably 50 feet down the driveway to Chestnut Hill.
Oh,
into.
So you're really hitting bus drivers and people dropping their
Yeah.
kids off at school. That's who see, the general public, we need to
Wonder
get the
who
bigger
takes
sign.
care of that? I wonder.
It was the selectman's office that, I think it was Melissa Shattuck who got it.
Oh.
Does only the fire department have access to their new signboard there?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that a temporary? I thought that looked like a roadway temporary.
No,
that's all new.
They rebuilt that.
Oh, it's not wheels and the.
No, it's part of, they took down the old wooden sign and they put this new LED
Electronic
thing.
one. Yeah.
It's
Oh.
Programmable.
Yeah.
Turn your clocks back
Yeah.
Yeah, if you put a note on it, let's see if we
and
can.
ask the fire.
I don't know if you can use that or not.
Town signs.
So far, it just seems to be announcing like safety and.
I haven't seen any like town meeting.
No, I haven't either, but it's a great, I find it very, visible, like.
Yeah.
Right.
Like this.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, there's town signs. You can check with her about the Chestnut Hill one.
Well, yeah, given the line of cars that pick up and drop off children every day, that's probably not a bad place to be down there. To get younger.
I mean, it's really funny because I put the chicken event on there, which I thought would not be really a farmer event. I thought it would be a people buying chickens
Yeah,
in the spring event and, one person.
yeah, yeah, sure.
Well, two, including the person from South Hadley, which is kind of random that they drove all the way up here.
Hey, I heard you're having a meeting.
They got lost. All right.
Just LED. Yeah, well, there's other forms of social media. But that town is only doing Facebook, is that right? There's like Reddit or Instagram. I don't know any of that stuff.
Yeah, they're on MySpace.
All right.
Tammy, any chance you know how to ask
The
the
present,
present?
this
Is this reverbing
now?
now?
Kind of is.
Okay,
I
I turned off my mic, but I didn't turn off the.
Mute yourself on.
I did, I muted the mic. Is that
Now you're
better?
good. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought I might have to mute the speaker too, because it was off. Do you know how to ask the presenter for permissions to share?
Oh, on this program here?
Yeah, because I would show the agenda, I would show documents, I'd be able to type at the same time if I was able to do that. But anyway, okay, I'll ask Esther, the town person, whether or not that's gonna be possible to go ahead and do. So, all right. So if we want to move on from that item, which I'm okay with,
I'll check into the town signage stuff.
if you would, that'd be great.
Yeah. That'd give me a reason to get out of the shop.
When you need a moment, when you need some fresh air. The ag disposal bylaw, which we keep talking about and not taking any action on.
Yeah.
How do we put this together? Do we want to have a meeting where everybody tries to be here unless I can go ahead and put it up on this screen? I mean, that's the biggest thing. What I'd like to do is, we talked about, there were two things. There was like a UMass
Yep.
that you have there.
Mhm.
And that's not, what do you call that, guidance document? I forget, it's the official title. I forget.
I don't, it's just, yeah, just a recommendation on best management practices for burial and composting, and I don't know, I think at some point when we have a full crowd, we should,
Well, then there was like NRCS had a document, or USDA, somebody else said, we had two like known
Wasn't there another town?
yeah,
guidance documents, but the other town ones, so I know at a minimum, we have to write a document, whether it be 1 or 2 pages, that says the town of Belchertown has an animal disposal. Animals shall be disposed of in accordance with UMass guidance documents. And it could get a little more sophisticated and say, let's say for burial procedures, and then if we vote to allow composting, we would say composting procedures can either be according with that or could be according to somebody else's document. I don't think we should make it super sophisticated, but I know we kind of need, I'm going to call it the law piece.
Yeah.
That's a Belchertown document, but it doesn't need to contain what you actually do in it. You can refer to the other document to say, here's how, unless it's so short.
yeah,
That we
well,
want to retype the whole thing.
right. Well, I think Lori had done the research on this
Originally.
maybe a year ago almost, and she had put some other towns' methods for the same recommendations, and so like the town of Williamstown, for example, they spell it out kind of briefly on like, burial has to be 6 feet below grade and things like that, but then Bellingham just says burial must be in compliance with Mass state agricultural laws, so they just kind of like cover all their bases with referring you off to the state.
Yeah.
So I don't know how best to do it from, our perspective, but it would seem as though, having some kind of guidance with, distances that you should be kept from property lines and things, because that seems to be where the issue comes up, right? Most often is that neighbors are,
Concerned about.
concerned about.
I think it's depth.
Depth and distance from,
Right.
a water resource or a property line, I'm not sure
We
anybody.
should have that information, whatever drive bylaw we have, drafted, that kind of information in it, rather than referring to Mass Ag.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have as broad as that.
right.
I just meant sometimes burial, I would have to read the UMass burial.
Yeah.
But the reason why, I was told by the vets, the reasons why they go 6 feet is because of the drugs they use in
putting an animal down.
Mhm.
putting an animal down. So then if you don't use drugs with the animal, and who's to enforce this or whatever, can you go less? But then the question is, and I never like 6 feet down because that is to the bottom of the top. I like to say all animals must have, 3 or 4 feet of cover or, something like that over the
Yeah,
top of it. Because
sure.
I did hear, we had neighbors who buried their own dog and then the coyote had the femur running down the street one day.
Yeah.
And clearly they didn't have a backhoe and it was winter or something. And they put it down like 24 inches to the bottom of the hole.
Yeah.
Not to all the way down.
But a 6-foot hole is not that deep when you put a 1,500-pound horse in it.
Well, that's why I like to use cover also, because if
Yeah.
it's a sheep, you're fine.
Yeah.
Or,
Then they expand.
and then we'll have to vote as a committee if we include, what do we include? Is it swine, horses, dairy, goats, sheep?
Livestock, I guess, just kind of covers it, but,
Yeah.
yeah. It
But does
does,
livestock include fowl?
it does, there, yeah,
Do we want to treat fowl differently?
yeah, I don't know. There is an official definition from, the state's perspective as to like what livestock is and isn't. And I believe, we got into that a little bit with Caleb Busey from a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago, that livestock or fowl does fall under the livestock category. So I don't know, unless there was some recommendation from a veterinarian or something that they should be treated differently. I don't know that.
No, it just seems like, people who have one chicken that dies, they're tossing it in the trash.
Yeah, right.
Because to dig a 4-foot hole.
Yeah.
But I do think I would almost, I would bring up that we could put processing.
Yeah, I had no.
That-
Right.
That offal and byproducts from on-farm or at-home processing must, almost go by the same regulations.
Right. Yeah, I think that was a note that I had put on a while ago, that when we had a larger group, I agreed that that was a good addition
Yeah.
to the list. But
So, how do you think we could move this along? Do you think we want to make this the number one agenda item at next meeting with them to meet and greet? This is the second meeting since we're in good shape, and we'll probably
Yeah.
mostly be talking about media and circulation.
Right. Well,
At the
what,
next meeting.
do we have enough information with what you've gathered to compose
well,
what we?
Lori's really the one I think that has had the most research done on what needs to be done, but I'm not really sure what the process is, like how formal do we need to put something together, and then who do we present that to, and in what format? Does it need to be reviewed by, an attorney or something before it makes it to?
So would you make a note that I'm going to volunteer for this issue?
Okay.
I'm going to sit with, I know it has to go through several boards
Yeah,
to get recommendations, and then it needs to go to the annual town meeting.
Usually planning board?
Yes, it should be planning board. I'm going to first ask Doug, and then I'm going to talk to Steve. I have to see him about that issue.
Or draft
Mr.
together?
Williams, to see about the legal writing of the language, or whether or not they have standard format.
There is a standard order.
Like Belchertown accepts this bylaw as part of blah, blah. Do we have to write that, or do we write the body of it and somebody else pastes that in a document that says,
right.
once it becomes Article X5 of the.
I do know that in some of the bylaws, there's referral to Mass General laws, page and whatever. But, we could probably put some very, very simple guidance in there.
Okay.
About what livestock is, what disposal should be if you're doing processing.
Well, if we're really gonna do this, it needs to be done by like February. So,
In order to get into the town
in order to
meeting.
get into the town.
That would be in May, is it?
Yeah,
Town
it's
meeting.
in May, but to get the
The whole process done.
whole process moving.
Okay.
So my preference would be not to drop it if we're gonna.
No,
Yeah.
we can, if you find out a little bit more about the template necessary.
Then I'll talk to Lori. Should we, I don't know if she wants to take notes at a meeting. She just takes them by hand. I feel like at a working meeting, we could be taking notes and make an outline and say, what animals are included, what are the environmental and dimensional regulations? What are any specifics about how it's accomplished? Obviously composting is different than if it's just burial. But yeah, or if we find that, burial, they say, a piece of plastic on top of it, I don't know. So we could include some of the things that.
Yeah.
But I guess I would ask this group to, at least between now and next, if you think of things during the next month that we're not talking about, there might be some other farming type that we haven't hit, or farming situation that we're not covering.
Farming situations.
Well, I think, just straight out, unexpected death kind of situations, planned, what am I trying to say? Euthanizations, and then the byproduct from processing, like our, kind of three scenarios that necessitate an animal to be buried or composted, right? And so I don't know how much into the weeds we need to get on each of those topics, but I think they should all be touched on, especially the one with the euthanasia drugs as being kind of a concern, is that something that, I've not seen any of that anywhere else, like, being mentioned as a way or as a precaution.
I'm not even sure if I can't recall now whether or not
It's about,
the vet, whether it was about common everyday drugs you give your dog versus the actual euthanasia
Yeah.
drugs.
well, all
Because
the
I'm kind
time,
of assuming the euthanasia drugs have short half-lives.
well, they're only a small amount, really.
Yeah, but even, if you have your dog on an anti-anxiety medication daily, I think the amounts are probably
It
pretty
could be
small.
what's leading up to that.
But I know they're starting to say that like anti-anxiety and antidepressants, the whole psychopharmaceutical drugs are a problem because the wastewater treatment plants don't treat them. And so wastewater treatment plants that then, there are some that send it out to a very small stream.
Yeah.
Like if they treat it higher than Bondi's Island, there's some that have higher levels of treatment. They still don't treat the pharmaceuticals, and they're saying like amphibians are mating, or they have 3 legs, or that kind of stuff happens. So
Well, if you have
I'm
an
not sure
animal
if that's
that's sick or something like that, you load it up with antibiotics,
oh, that too.
and then she goes,
Would it be useful, I'd be happy to do this, to reach out to, like we use Dr. Hess's office and just have like
Yeah.
a 10-minute conversation
Yeah.
about like, what do you see as, present day guidelines that we're
Yeah.
missing or something here?
Yeah, I mean, I would just ask them, do you think there's anything we need to consider when we bury common animals, common farm animals?
okay. Yeah, I think that's where we gotta go. Just start out, find out what the
Okay.
process is to put it out there and just put it together.
Oops.
Lamson Brook.
Yes, last item. Well, other than new business. Any updates on Lamson Brook? There's another meeting coming up or something?
We had a meeting on Monday.
Oh,
We asked Senator Oliveira and DCAM to join the meeting. And Senator Oliveira's office is sticking with no amendments need to happen. We don't need to talk to DCAM. DCAM just needs to move forward. And DCAM showed up to the meeting. Raina Rubin, who's been working with the Lamson Brook property for years, she was at the meeting and said that DCAM hasn't changed their position and that amendments need to happen. So we asked DCAM to get their lawyers to talk to our legislative council and to let us know as the board what exactly they need changed and why. Yeah.
why didn't Oliveira's office show up at the meeting?
Because they don't think there's nothing to say. Like, they're just like, there's nothing that
Well,
needs
yeah,
to
they could say, hey, DCAM, we don't believe any are necessary. Who's your attorney? who's our attorney. We'll have them meet in 2 weeks at 1 o'clock.
Yep.
You know, let's
Yep.
iron this stuff finally.
Yep.
Because not as, like, I'm understanding their position as legislatures, right? Is that they can't move because they're in this deadlock. But then their position is Belchertown's advocate to get stuff done.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the part that I'm failing to see them, they're kind of shrugging their shoulders. That's what I feel.
Yes. And they also suggested that we reach out to the governor's office since DCAM works for the governor. I brought that up to the board, and consensus right now is we're not going to do that because it's not cool to do that. But if DCAM doesn't get back to us, we're going to have another meeting on December 2nd. If nothing happens in the next month, we may escalate it to the governor's office.
Okay.
Well, probably likely they won't have anything if they're at this stalemate for 2 years or however long it's been. There's nothing pushing them to
Right.
come to the table and straighten out whatever language they need to straighten out.
Right. And so there were some questions that were raised in the meeting of what happens if nothing happens? And DCAM's like, we'll just hold on to the property indefinitely.
State property, isn't it?
Yeah. It's their property. They're the current owners.
Yeah.
So.
But
So
I
they-
mean, Eric, you raise a really good point. Like if our legislators are here to advocate for the town, why aren't they doing that?
Yeah, and I mean, I know, you don't want to tackle Maura Healy in front of her house, but she's got AIDS. You're not going to get to her. So if you're
Oh, of
bugging
course. Yeah,
the
yeah.
assistant to the assistant to the assistant aide,
We could try that.
enough times that maybe at the coffee pot, they, hey, we keep hearing about this Belchertown thing. Maybe it will get there. And I don't know if it's the legislators or DCAM that are doing this. And now I'm gonna have to apologize because you just walked by us. A liaison from the select board's office.
Nikki, Minor,
Oh, is it Vicky?
Nikki.
Nikki, oh, that's it.
Nicole
Minor.
Minor.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Nicole had volunteered, right? Did she meet with you? She wanted to hear the story?
Right. Yeah. I did talk to Nicole.
Okay, and then she was gonna talk with the select board about, they either have monthly or quarterly visits with their legislature about kind of,
She said she's
Pushing
going to
the-
bring it up when she talks to them.
okay, pushing the rope,
Yeah.
that's what this feels like.
Yes.
So, okay. Do we have,
So our next meeting is December 2nd.
Second,
oh. Well, at least you're
coming right up.
still getting together, that's,
Well, that's the thing. This is the first time we've had a meeting
that's,
or 2 meetings within a month. Like, yeah.
And is that their agenda has been pretty much for working on this issue?
Working on this issue, and also we're trying to work on the issue because I'm not fully clear on this, but it looks like MDR is moving forward with getting the commercial farmland. And if they start collecting money for
well,
leases,
hold on.
yeah.
How can they get their
Because
property if if there's language issues?
Because there's systems in place for the state, for DCAM to give property to MDR, but there's not systems in place to do it for the rest of us.
But those systems use some sort of legal language and vehicle to transfer the title of the property. And I'm questioning, like, if they offered those vehicles to the Lamson Brook Farm Board or whatever the entity is that's gonna take it, why isn't that acceptable?
What do you mean?
So it's a different agency. So they are in fact transferring title, like buying a house or buying a piece of land.
Yep.
They're gonna transfer a title, right?
Yep.
And a survey property with the deed description. So if
But there's
MDR,
no RFP process. There's no, like all of the processes that we need to go to find a new owner aren't happening for MDR.
so there is no intermediate owner between the final RFP
Correct.
winners
Yes.
and DCAM.
Right.
So it's temporarily not going to the managers of it, it's not going to the town, it's not going to,
No.
you know, somebody else to then manage not only the parcels, because it's unlikely that all the parcels get resolved or sold or forwarded or transferred all in one shot, right?
Well, that's the legislation is clear that priority goes to somebody, the nonprofit that applies for the community farm as well as the forest parcel. So there's that piece in there. And then
So
the only
let's-
other part is the enterprise zone, which is a big question mark.
But let's say I put together a nonprofit agricultural business management organization, and I bid on the whole thing tomorrow, and I win the bid. But you're saying the bid can't even go out yet. The RFP can't even go out until something happens legally. That's where I'm confused.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
All right, well-
because DCAM is not allowing that to happen.
But how can DCAM be allowed to transfer it to MDR? That's what's really, you know what I mean? It's like I'm selling two pieces of property and my brother-in-law bought some property from me like 3 years ago. And I'm gonna transfer this next piece of property to him right away because he already knows the terms of agreement that I've used.
Yeah.
But Tom offered to buy a third piece of property, but I'm arguing with his attorneys. And my question is, did I offer him to take my brother-in-law's terms? And if he did, other than the price, because I charge him more, would you accept those? And then,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right, but then you're rewriting the entire legislation. Like that's a whole nother piece of legislation.
Okay. All right. I guess that was enough spent on.
Well, we know how the state.
Spinning the wheels in Mississippi mud.
Yeah, we know how well the state took care of the state school property.
Right.
They didn't do a very good job.
Yes. Okay. Any new business?
Anything. So the lady down on Route 181.
Oh,
The chicken.
the chickens.
How did that come out? I didn't know.
Oh, we had much
discussion.
discussion.
Uh-huh.
Not much positive discussion. And we elected to close the issue without issuing a letter of support.
Okay. Okay.
I will say the zoning board chair, Shannon, I forget her name, emailed me Sunday night. I told her the minutes of the meeting weren't out, but that the commission did issue, had a vote to not issue a letter of support. And I told her to call us or come to this meeting if you wanted additional information.
And speaking of the planning board, the Lamson Brook survey was approved by the planning board. It didn't need to be approved. It was one of the not approved.
Approval not required, an A&R.
Yeah, but they approved it.
Yeah. That reminds me of the Princess Bride. If anybody's Princess Bride fans here, with Billy Crystal and his wife at the end, it says, "Oh, it's only mostly dead." It's not really dead. Mostly dead. All right. With that, I would accept the motion to adjourn.
I move
Louise,
to,
just
Louise.
making sure if she's on. Anybody else need business? Louise wanted to hear, so. Okay.
I've asked a couple of my farmer friends if they had any issues what to bring before the group.
Okay.
Sounded just like that.
All right, I will accept the motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn the meeting. November.
Second, third, fourth.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
So moved. Good night, everybody. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Louise. And we'll see you.
Saw Louise on Sunday.